Welcome to the Pulsating Biology, and in today's video we are going to discuss about the life cycle of mosquito in order to understand malaria in a much more detail. If not watch the malaria video, the lecture that we have recorded for the malaria, I would advise you to please watch that video first and then come on to this video of life cycle of mosquito that will help you understand how the life cycle of mosquito basically works and how we can control basically the cause of the malaria. So let's talk about the life cycle of mosquito. The life cycle of mosquito basically begins from the eggs. As we know that whenever the male and the female gametes mix, they are basically combined to form a gamete. But before that, what happens is that whenever there is holding water, that is also termed as the stagnant water, what happens in that stagnant water is that female mosquito lays eggs inside the holding water. And this stagnant water is very common mostly in the areas of the apart from the Asia that we usually say in the Africa, where the stagnant water is very common, due to which that is the major cause for the malaria, due to which the malaria is very common in those regions. So what happens in the stagnant water is that the female mosquito lays the eggs in that stagnant water, and those eggs after some time becomes ready to be hatched after a few days whenever they are laid into the stagnant water. Once the eggs are laid, they comes on to the another stage that is termed as the larva. Larva is aquatic, and by term aquatic mean that they are majorly into the water. And so larva is an aquatic and develops whenever they develop into the eggs are developed into the larva develops within the 5 days into the pupa. And pupa is the third stage through which the mosquitoes goes through from the eggs to the larva, from the larva to the pupa within the 5 days, and from the pupa develops into an adult and an individual mosquito within 2 to 3 days. Now this is the entire life cycle of mosquito that begins from laying an eggs into the stagnant water, and then those eggs are basically hatched from with the male stagnant male sperm, and then from the eggs are basically converted into the larva. From the larva it is converted into the pupa within the 5 days, and from the pupa it is converted into an adult within 2 to 3 days. So this is a 4 stages entire life cycle of mosquito. Now the question arises that how can we control the mosquito or to control the malaria? This is the basic cause of the malaria, that is the stagnant water. Whenever the mosquito sees a stagnant water being there, the female mosquito lays their eggs there. Therefore, this is the region from which the malaria basically arises. If we avoid keeping the stagnant water, we can definitely cope up with the malaria. And we are going to discuss about the control mechanism of the mosquito or the malaria. But first that you need to understand this entire life cycle of malaria, or you can say entire life cycle of mosquito that leads to malaria. Now let's discuss about the control of mosquito or the control of the malaria. The first and the foremost cause that we have discussed is the stagnant water. So what we are going to do is that if we will drain that stagnant water and do not allow a lot of stagnant water to stay for a much amount of time, we would protect ourselves from the female mosquito laying eggs and causing the malaria. Secondly, if in the water, even in the running water or the stagnant water, we introduce fishes, due to the introduction of the fishes, the female mosquitoes wouldn't be able to lay eggs. This is the second control mechanism. Thirdly, we can say that we can spray oil on surface of the water. If there is any stagnant water due to a cause, what we can do is that we can spray oil on surface of that water. That can prevent female mosquitoes to lay. What kind of sprays can be sprayed? So there is a name of that spray that is known as the Bacillus thuringiensis, that is termed as the Bacillus thuringiensis. This is the spray that basically kills the pupa, and that in turn results in the less number of the mosquitoes. Another spray that can be sterile spray that can also be done in the buildings where there may be a smaller amount of the stagnant water be present, but mainly these are the controlling mechanism of the mosquito that can lead up to the malaria. That includes draining the stagnant water, as stagnant water is the main cause of the malaria, introducing fishes due to which the female mosquitoes wouldn't be able to lay eggs. Thirdly, we have spray oils that can be sprayed on the surface of water. One example of the spray is the Bacillus thuringiensis. This is a very common spray that basically kills the pupa, that in turn results in the less number of mosquitoes. Here we are done with the life cycle of mosquito and how we can control the mosquito or malaria. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.